Talking Points with Shabazz Davis. Covering all conversation from dating to sports fetishes, this is Talking Points with Shabazz Davis on World Improv Network.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, and welcome to Talking Points with Shabazz Davis. My name is Jerome Carmichael, filling in for Shabazz this week, who's busy on a survival retreat in western Utah. Good luck, Shabazz. I hope you make it out alive. And speaking of survival retreats, I have... Sir? Please don't boo survival. Without survival, where would we be? We'd be in a hole in the ground. Or laying on top of the ground. Dead. Now, do you want that, sir? I didn't. Yes. Yep. Thank you, people. Now, as I was saying, Shabazz is at a survival camp, and we have two of the two owner-operators of said survival camp, of You're Gonna Make It survival camp, Mr. Elk Hibachis, welcome to the show, Elk, and Mr. Angus MacGyver, and I'm told you are not the television character.
No, I'm not the television character. I am not him.
Okay. Well, it is a pleasure to have you both on the show.
Yeah. You know, it's not the easiest thing in the world to be a survivor. But Angus over there figured it out. So we have a good business doing it.
Well, excuse me, Elk, you say figured it out.
Yeah.
What specifically did he figure out? The key to survival?
That's right. We were sitting on a rock one day, hiking in Utah, and he came all the way from overseas to enjoy the beautiful scenery, and we ran out of water.
Oh, no.
Ran out of food.
Utah's a desert. Where will you find water?
None. Until he had the algorithm on how to survive, even when the elements are stacking up against you. And the physiology of your body says you can't live more than 3 days without water.
No.
30 days without food. 3 minutes without oxygen in your brain.
Wow. But you two are here right now.
That's right.
So something happened.
Yes.
What happened exactly was that I used the logarithm to save Elk in my life. And what we did actually is we took some sand and we made a sand castle.
So this is the algorithm.
This is the algorithm that
Okay.
gives you the formula to make the sand castle, which you will build in the sand outside of where we were lost, of course, for all those days. And what I did is I asked Elk to hand me a match. And he had a match in his pocket. And so what I did is I took that match and I put it into the sun castle and I infused it with a logarithm. And then when the sun rose...
I'm sorry, Angus. You infused it with the logarithm? So there's math involved.
Yes, there's math involved within the match. And what you do scientifically through your brain is pass that logarithm through the psyche into the match, into the sand castle. All of a sudden, you've got water. I saved Elk's life.
It's amazing.
We caught a rabbit. We skinned the rabbit alive, and we chewed its legs off. We were both
Very lucky.
It's amazing.
We were sufficiently filled to the brim. We made some stew, and then what we've done is we sold it to a few pygmies that were lost.
Now, I'm sorry, Angus. It is a fantastic story. And wow, there's so much I want to dig into here. First off, pygmies in Utah?
They were passing through. And what?
Excuse me, passing through from where to where?
Las Vegas.
Oh, yep. Okay, makes sense.
Also, Elvis impersonator pygmies, and they did a little number for us, and it was so beautiful. And we gave them a sandwich to take with them.
Oh, yeah. They're, I believe they have that show out in Vegas, Snack Size Hunk of Burnin' Love.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Now, okay.
Is
Now
that the Mirage? The Mirage.
Wonderful. Now, they are not sponsors of the show, so I'd prefer if we did not keep mentioning them.
They were at a well-known casino, and it might have been the Mirage.
It's on the strip. It's on the strip.
Perfect. Now, Angus, I don't want to get too far afield from this, but I just want to review the real key moment here of you put a match in a sandcastle and got water.
Yes.
This sounds like alchemy. I would call it fiction if I were judging it, which actually I am.
Mr. Carmichael.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have believed it either. Under desperate situations like that there's no way in hell we can make it out alive. But when he did that, and he started chanting the logarithm through the match, and then he lit the sandcastle. Not only did it make water, it rained for 4 days straight. Rabbits started coming towards the sandcastle. Pygmies started coming to the sandcastle. Yeah.
We also
it was
had
almost like a Pokemon essence attracted to that sandcastle.
Now, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, Mr. MacGyver.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, duly noted. Thank you. Now, so you made it rain, in the literal sense, not in the hip hop sense. And you say, Elk, that water came from the sandcastle. Did it burst forth out of the earth? What happened?
It burst out like a fire hydrant or black oil coming out of the ground.
So it was like a geyser.
It was a geyser. Like
Wow.
Old Faithful.
Like a MacGyver.
Yes, it was like a McGeyser.
Ha ha ha.
It was
Ha
amazing.
ha ha.
Oh,
That's something you should apologize for, Mr. MacGyver.
Oh, I'm so sorry. But what I wanted to get to is the blood brother ceremony that Elk and I did after we thought we were going to die. And then we discovered we were alive after the rain, after the logarithm, after the sandcastle, after the pygmies, after the Elvis concert. Then what we did...
I'm sorry, there was a concert?
Oh, yes. The pygmies sang at our blood brother christening concert, where we were both alive and knew we would live to tell this story. So what we did is I sliced Elk's wrist. I gashed his artery. I gashed my artery. We put our arteries together, and then we had a blood ceremony with a beautiful Elvis song.
Yeah, I agree, audience. This is fantastical, and frankly, I'm grossed out.
Mr. Carmichael.
This sounds very unsanitary.
You can see the reenactment of it at the Mirage in Las Vegas.
I don't want to. I don't want to see the reenactment of that. That sounds disgusting.
Well, it's a revolution. Once you see that, it'll change your life forever.
It'll change your life. We actually invite a volunteer on stage to participate in the ceremony, to share the blood with our blood, and then we've got another brother.
Okay. You know what? I don't want to get caught up in any of these weird ceremonies that you're doing. I want to get back to the fact that you created water out of sand and fire.
And a logarithm.
And a logarithm.
And a mathematical logarithm?
Through a match. The logarithm goes through the match into the sandcastle.
Mr. MacGyver, what does that even mean? That does not make sense. Math goes through a match? Sir, I think you're just making up words. I'm going to say it.
Mr. Carmichael, you know when you strike a match, it causes fire. There has to be a chemical reaction.
Yes, there is.
Just like that logarithm went through the match to cause water to come out of the sandcastle.
Elements are elements. Match, fire, water, air, spritzer.
Okay. So you're referring to the philosophies of the ancient Greeks, which have since been disproven and cast aside in favor of legitimate science. Yes, thank you, audience. Let's hear it for the periodic table of elements.
Oh, Mr. Carmichael, science is what we make of it today. It wasn't the same 500 years ago.
No.
Nor will it be 500 years from now.
No.
When we're levitating.
No.
We live in a matrix.
Oh, yes.
What science would have told you right now that we could do that?
You tell him.
Well, there is no science, and that's exactly my point. Science is improving as time goes forward, and yet you two have decided that the science of 2,500 years ago is much more appropriate.
You learn from the past.
History repeats itself,
That's
and I'm
right.
sorry. A match into a sandcastle creates water. We are not talking about chariots driving through the street with naked men and cloth covering their genitalia.
Eating olives.
Well, okay, that's all well and good. And fortunately, hey, intern Steve, could you please bring out the demonstration table?
Yeah, right here. Jerome, you want me to set the castle down right here in the matchbooks?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, here
now,
we go.
Mr. MacGyver, you've spoken so highly of your skills, and Mr. Hibachi saving lives, your blood brother, as it were. Well, here we are.
As it is.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Excuse me.
You're going to make it too, Mr. Carmichael. That's our survival camp.
I'm not going to your survival camp, and would never even consider it until Shabazz actually returns, because I am very concerned for him right now, because I think you two are charlatans.
See the show at the Mirage.
Oh.
We've got orchestra tickets.
Did you see that?
It's a hard word to say.
Okay.
It's
you know
raining.
what? We do not need any more advertisements for non-sponsors of this show. I can see you making the noise with your mouth, Mr. Hibachis. Yeah, okay.
Strike a match now. As you will see, it's moving into the sandcastle. Water is performing around the castle, and the blood is flowing out of my wrist into your mouth, and you have got blood coming out of your ears.
No! Excuse me, sir. No. There is nothing flowing into my mouth. It is a pile of sand and a match. The fact that you continue to maintain this lie is terrifying. Ladies and gentlemen, please do not support You'll Make It Back camp.
Oh, excuse me.
Thank you. That's the talking points.
Talking Points with Shabazz Davis. Give the Wincast your questions on Facebook, Twitter, or the Mile High Sports Radio studio line during the break of what issues the Win counselors can help you with during good, bad, ugly. Next on Mile High Sports Radio.